All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Discipline and Sexy. And I know you see I have this beautiful woman right by me. But before she speaks, let me just give y'all an introduction. Because y'all know I'm not going to just have anybody on this platform. We just had Erica. If you have not watched that episode, go back and watch it so you can really start cultivating the right friendships. But now we have Miss Sherry. And Sherry is not just any woman to me. She is somebody very special. A lot of people ask me who pours into me, but I would say this woman pours into me without me even having to ask. When I see her name pop up on my phone, I don't feel anxiety. Some people, I feel that because I know they're already asking for something or requesting for something, or just it's about them. With Sherry, she will leave me a random voice note and tell me, Brittany, you sold this. You sold that, sister. I just want to run. And I'm like, where's this coming from? And it be on the days that I actually need that reminder. Because a lot of people think I have it all put together. But y'all, I'm just a girl trying to figure it out too. And so I just wanted to just set the tone of her character. Every business that I've had, from my credit business to the book publishing, to the Bible study group, y'all, to just my content. My sister's going to share it. She's going to be one of the first comments, and she's going to support, and she doesn't ask for a discount. My sister is ready to pay the fee. And so I just want to honor you. I thank you for coming all the way from Texas to sit here in the podcast studio. I couldn't imagine having any other person on here at this moment but you. And so I just honor you, and I thank you for being here with me.
I'm so happy to be here. I finally made it to your podcast. I'm so happy to be here. It's a blessing to be here with you today. I've been looking so forward to it. When you invited me, I just could not wait to get in tune with our interview today.
I'm so glad you are, Sherry. And when y'all walk away from this episode, I want you to know that you're going to walk away feeling inspired to really go and see the world. This woman has traveled the United States and literally different countries by herself. She loves a good group trip, but one thing about Sherry, she does not mind doing things solo and by herself. And that is what attracted me to her. And so before I go into how we actually met, because we met at an event.
We did.
A woman's event before COVID. This was in 2019. We went to the Boss Conference.
Right before COVID.
Right before COVID. And her energy was just so good. But even then, I don't think we took each other's number or anything. It was just more
we just ran into each other, but we ran into each other again at another event.
And we was looking at each other. I remember being in the living room in Miami for Ciara's event. And we was like, we seen each other before. Mm-hmm. Didn't we see each other? I remind you, she's all the way in Texas. I'm in Georgia. So what's the irony that we meet from another mutual person, and that person didn't know we met each other a year ago or 2 years ago at an event. Nonetheless, this is how God works. He's very strategic. From there, y'all, we exchanged numbers and stayed connected. So before we go deeper into that, Sherry, I want to know, if somebody asks you, who is Sherry? Describe yourself in a few words. What would you say?
Sherry is this girl who's a jack of all trades. This girl loves to motivate, encourage, inspire people. Like, it always have been in me to do that. I used to just think I was just a nice person, but I really like to see people do good. Like, I like to see people better themselves. So to describe me in all, I'm a jack of all trades as far as like motivation. I'm a people person. I'm just a people person. I have God in me, so God just floats me around everywhere to inspire and just do His work. He just uses me for His vessel.
Wow. And I wanted to start out and ask her, who does she say she is? Because a lot of times it's hard for us to really affirm ourselves. See, when you're used to being the affirming person, she used to always affirming other people, encouraging them, motivating. It's natural for her. It's normally harder for that person who does it all the time to do it for themselves. Would you say, sister, that's ever been a challenge for you to really affirm your own self and motivate yourself? Has that ever came kind of hard for you?
Sometimes, I'm used to motivating everybody else, and sometimes I feel like I need the encouragement and motivation. So I feel that sometimes, I just look for God when I need the motivation. If I'm not getting it from someone, I just go to God, and God always shows up and He shows out, and turn things around as far as my perspective, how I'm thinking or how I'm feeling that day when I'm needing motivation or encouragement. So sometimes I wake up and I need the encouragement, but I still keep going, and nobody would never know I need the encouragement because I just keep on pushing and I just keep going with the flow.
Wow. Would you say you've always been that person? Tell me a little bit about your upbringing. And you don't got to go too deep, but just as deep as you are comfortable with. But give me Sherry when she was between the ages of 15 up until you had your first child. Because with you being a mom and you've had a child pretty young, people would say, would you say, sister, that made you have to grow up a little bit quicker? Give me like a little bit of your background, because you have such a soft, tender heart, but was it always like that, where most people would say you've always been like this, or would you say you've grown to this?
Um, I would say I've always been like this. Like, even with my friends, I was always the positive friend.
I could see that.
You always gonna have one in the group that gonna talk everybody out of, or they don't want you to come because you're gonna be the one that, oh no, she gonna tell or something like that. So I always been a positive friend. I always been a positive person, and so like I would say like my teenage years from like 15 to 17, myself as a perspective, who I am, it would still be the same. I just didn't recognize it till I got older. I always been the same way. So I didn't recognize it till I got older, and through life and learning things.
Wow. You know what? And the reason why I asked you that question is because a lot of times the type of gift you have, which is an encouraging gift, you have several gifts, but one of your top attributes that I could think of off the top of my head, you are an encourager. A lot of times that is something that most people who have that gift, it was from little. So I figured you was going to say that has always been you. That doesn't give me something that you recently became. You can't just get that. It has to come from out of you naturally, and that is who you are. But I want to go a little bit deeper. I want you to tell me, Sherry, because you've been very transparent with me. The audience doesn't know, but before you got to this more confident Sherry, you have your businesses, which we're going to dig in a little bit more on. You are a mom. You have also great jobs. My sister keep her job, okay? And is a good worker. Very good work ethic skills. Give me who you were, sister, about 10 years ago, when before Sherry really found herself deep like this, because I feel like now the Sherry that I've met, you've always been like this. But tell me, who was that woman before the Boss Conference who was just stepping out with now getting new friend groups, women who is like her, who are high achievers, who are optimistic, open-minded? What was your life then? I know, go into that with sister. Just, were you traveling or were you not really traveling? Because now we see the Sherry who doing this, Greece, y'all, Dubai, my girl, Mexico. But who was that Sherry before then? Tell me a little bit about that.
The Sherry before was trying to figure it out. I always been nice and a good person or whatever, but Sherry before was trying to figure it out. Like, I wanted more in life, and I always knew I wanted more, but I never thought I would achieve that. Like, I always knew I always had big thoughts and big dreams, but never was confident enough to do certain things. Didn't think I would qualify for it or I could do it, or feel like I'm gonna get judged for it. So before I started traveling and everything, I was just trying to figure life out, and I was in a bad relationship for a long time. I finally got out of that, talked to God. Well, that's when my relationship with God started.
Is then during that time. Go into real quick. I want you to go, because it might be a woman. It is. I could feel it's a woman on the other side of this, and it could be even a guy, Sherry, where they know it's so much more for them, but they're in something. How long, if you don't mind me asking, were you in that relationship? Was it a long term?
It was like a 13-year relationship. And it was good at first, and then it got bad, but I thought it would get better, but it got worse. So relationships like that, they get worse. The person you can't change a person who they are. They're gonna always be the same, especially when they're showing you time and time and time and time again. So you just have to make a decision. My decision was, I started talking to God. And I always believed in God and went to church, all the time. My family when I was younger. But, when you become a young adult, you start life, and you kind of got to work. I mostly had to work on Sundays, so I really didn't go to church, no more. But always been a good person still. But anyway, I just one day, you know, asked God to show me the way. Like, do I need to leave this situation, or is it going to get better, or whatever? And God said, leave the situation.
Now, for that person who's watching this and they're like, I know I need to leave, but Sherry, when did you realize that I'm not even myself no more? This whole relationship has drastically changed me. Give me some signs that show this is not who I am.
Well, I would say, like, I'm gonna see, probably about the last 3 years of relationship, I started noticing that I was sad all the time when I always was happy-go-lucky. I started like wanting more peace. Like sometime I would even before I would go home from work, I worked hospice, so I traveled. So I would like stop by a restaurant and sit down and eat, like, because I know I'm gonna go home to chaos. So I would just go home and go at a restaurant, sit down and eat, enjoy myself, and then go home to the drama. But as I was transitioning through that, I started recognizing my worth. I had more quiet time to myself. So I'm sitting there, you know, and like, man, I don't have to put up with that, you know. I deserve better. There's somebody out there. So, and I know that, but sometimes when you love somebody, you can't control who you love, and you think they're going to change.
That was going to be my next question, and she went right into it. I was going to ask you, because you were so honest and you said this was a 13-year relationship. Mm-hmm. In some states, that's technically common law marriage. Yeah. Why do you think so many women and men, but we speaking specifically to women, stick around longer than they should? And you might can only speak from your perspective, but why do you think people stick around longer?
I think that some of us think the person's going to change. You love them so much, you know, you're going to be putting that faith in them that they can do it. They can do it. Because they all like show up, and I know we all can agree to that. They'll show up a little bit back to, you know how it be at first. Okay, that happened, and then we're gonna work it out or whatever. But then a month later, it's back to where the old stuff come back. You know, but then it's time to make a decision whether you want to keep accepting that or you want to move further because you know you deserve more. And so that was my decision I made. I just talked to God. God gave me a sign, and it was like He gave me a sign so quick because God was just waiting on me. Mm-hmm. You know, He was just waiting on me to reach out to Him, and I did, and then it was game over after that.
That's so good. That's so good. And I know somebody is watching this right now and they're like, okay, Sherry, thank you for saying that, but if I leave this relationship, this person is financially helping me. Or if I leave this relationship, I have a lot to lose. Was that anything that came into question, or was somewhat of a fear? Because a lot of times when we've been with somebody for a while, we live most of the time together. Sometimes we sharing bills, splitting things, mm-hmm. expenses with each other. We may have children, so it's not that easy to just leave. What is some words that you would say to that person that's questioning all of that, but they know they need to get out of this because it's causing them to be a different person than who God called them to be?
I would say, a person that feel that way, I feel like that God gonna bless you with 20 times more. Like, I don't want nothing attached to that relationship. Like, if I'm really leaving, I'm leaving everything, because God, nothing is bigger than my God. I'm gonna get all that back times 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and it goes on. Like, I was never, when I left my situation, I was never worried about all of that. I'm talking about I had my whole truck taken away from me. Like, I had a lot of stuff to lose, and I thought about that before I left the situation. I thought about that, but I was like, you know, when I really, really dug deep, I was like, I don't need none of that. I don't need none of it. I got that back times 10. I have several businesses. I'm an author, and I'm a motivator. I'm a speaker, you know, and so I got that back times 10. And I have my peace, and I know how to control it. I know my worth. I know who to deal with, who to not deal with. Soon I notice a piece of a red flag, I'm out of there, you know. Because I want somebody that's on the same level, you know, as me. It's just a good person, you know, but you live, you learn.
That was so good, y'all. I feel motivated. I don't even have somebody to leave, and she got me wanting to leave, okay? That was so good. Now, let me know, I want to know this. Looking back, hindsight is 2020. If that old Sherry, that version was right in front of you right now, what would you say to her, knowing who you are now?
I'd be like, I would tell her, Sherry, you know, I know you went through a lot, but look where you at now. Like, I know your heart. I know what was inside of you. Because, like, right now, how I am now, this always been inside of me. I pulled it out because I wanted more in life. And I asked God to help me. and to better my situation and give me what I deserve. And so God was just waiting on me, because when I did that, that's when everything happened and fell into place. And I just feel like so blessed. God is good. God is good. And anybody out there going through a bad relationship, leave. It ain't gonna get no better. It's gonna get worse. And you don't gotta be mad at that person. Pray for that person. Pray for that person. God sees everything. If you know that you deserve better, just leave the situation and then just start over. Don't worry about what you're gonna lose or none of that. Because we see stories and testimonies all the time where people done been through stuff and they get blessed. Because that's all God be waiting on us to do. We gotta learn that lesson, or we're not gonna move forward. You're gonna get a lesson in your test, which is your test. You're gonna keep getting a test until you learn it, and then you're on to the next thing. Okay, I got over there. I know I deserve better. Okay, what's next? I'm gonna elevate. Okay, then what's next? So that's how God works.
Wow. And so now let's segue, because that's a good segue. So now Sherry is in her rebuilding. Trunk is, you said that you had your truck filled up with everything, didn't care, sister, left behind, whatever. You just knew it's time for a new thing. One thing that I admire about Sherry, she's always going to be about her coin. My sister's going to keep her a job, 2 or 3. Okay? But when I found out she had a 9 to 5, because I didn't even think she did, because the way she was traveling. And at the same events I'm at. Me and this lady done been to Dubai, Mexico, Miami. She done went to Greece, Atlanta, Texas. I'm like, how is she doing this? And she still works her 9 to 5 with her businesses. That segues us right into the power of discipline. So now tell me a little bit about your work ethic, because I always tell you I admire that about you. It's one thing if you are an entrepreneur, then I understand, okay, you got more flexibility. But you still have your job, sister, and jobs with an S. And Sherry still makes time for herself. My girl is going to get her massages monthly. It seems like every week when I'm texting her, great, I'm going to get me a massage. Then she also does her a good trip. My sister will at least do her a good solid 2 trips a year. If she could do more, she will. But you're going to see Sherry at least do something special for herself. And a lot of people feel like with this society now, Sherry, everybody is saying be an entrepreneur, be an entrepreneur. If you not, you losing. You building somebody else's business, you this, you that. Yes, you are all for entrepreneurship. Clearly, you have several businesses, but you also know the power of having stability. Many entrepreneurs, me and you know, is this close to being on the street. Yes. They really are not really making the moves how you think they are, but they have something to prove. I love that about you. You don't. So I want you to give some wisdom and encouragement to that person who still is working their job, but they feel like, sister, I can't really move how I want. I'm seeing everybody else do this. I should just quit my job and be an entrepreneur and start my business. Why would you not advise them to do that? And why should they, not that they shouldn't want more, but how can they still balance both the way you do it so well?
Well, first things first, you don't quit your job. Your job is what's going to invest that dream that you have. And I'm all big about self-care. You're going to need that insurance to take care of yourself, while you're investing in yourself. So you use your job to invest in yourself. That's what I did. That's what helped me with my business. I invested in myself with my job, my 8 to 5. That's going to fund your dream, and then you go ahead and start the business. Start working on it. God putting you in the path to meet people. That's where your faith come in at. You got to trust and you got to believe in it. And don't let nobody tell you nothing different, because they can't see your vision. You know what you can do. Like, I know what I can do. That's why the business I have, that's why I do them, because I know that I can do that. And I'm in alignment to those businesses because it aligns with me, who I am as a person. So don't try to do like a job that you don't really care for. Do something that you really, really enjoy. It don't seem like no job to do. Before you know it, boom, you going crazy with getting paid, and getting that bag. So don't quit your 9 to 5. Or 8 to 5, whatever job it is, and fund your business, like invest in yourself, because nobody ain't gonna invest in you like you'll do yourself. Nobody. They can say what they want to say. Nobody ain't gonna invest in you like you would invest in yourself. Like nobody. They might help you a little bit here and there, but it's about you. So don't quit your job. Keep your job. Don't look at people having free time and you don't, because you got to work in your business. I used to think like that too, but then I had to put myself and discipline myself. I had to discipline myself to, like, okay, when I get off work, okay, I'm gonna go home and take a shower, whatever, relax for a minute. I'm gonna start my dinner, and then about 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm gonna go work on my business. Like, you gotta prioritize it, because if you don't, you ain't gonna get nowhere. So keep your 9 to 5. Don't lose your 9 to 5, because you need something to fund that business. And so you just keep it going and go with the flow, and then everything else gonna fall in place once you get going. And I always, we have trial and error. So trial and error is always good. Trial and error is always good, because you learning as you going. Like me, when I first started, I was all over the place. But now, shoot, I can teach a business class now. I never thought I'd say that, but I can really teach, as far as like starting out, how to learn, because I know with my scrub company, I didn't know which like what sizes to get, this and that, how many should I get, should I start out with a lot, should I start out with a little bit? I didn't know what to do, but trial and error kind of put me in a place where, it put me in a place to where I knew in the future how to order and have things where it runs smoothly.
That was such an excellent answer. And somebody is watching this and they are like, but I don't feel like I have enough time. But y'all, you can't even say that with this woman right here, because we just heard her say she has several businesses, which we're going to get into in a second. She has a few jobs. My sister, again, doesn't keep one. And I love how you said it's that security.
Yeah.
Many of us think entrepreneurship, which is beautiful. It does create legacy, but many of us don't have that stability.
Yeah.
We don't have that cushion.
Yeah.
So you having that and still being able to live your life is so beautiful. So that's why I wanted us to focus on that, to encourage that person who may not even want to be a business owner.
Yes.
Everybody's desire is not to be a business owner.
It ain't for everybody. Like, some people don't, they think they do, and then when they see all the hard work, which is a lot of hard work, because when I started, I was like, whoa, you got to do a lot. You got to keep up with them taxes. You got to, file your every quarter, and so it's a lot to do. And I had paid fines like crazy at first, because I kept forgetting to file them taxes. But do not quit your job. And, if you do want to be an entrepreneur, test the waters, but don't quit your job trying to do it, unless you just really, if you got it like that, then do it like that. But I would just still keep the job and keep the flow going, and just make time and discipline and consistency with your business or whatever you're trying to do. And do the research. Like, do your research on your business. Like, see everything, ask questions, and just look up stuff. It's always good to learn things about what business that you're trying to align yourself with.
That was so good. And you could teach a class on, even, sister, how to juggle your job and use your PTO.
Yeah.
Now I want to go into that, because we got a person, I keep saying that, but I'm asking y'all the questions that I know y'all want to know. So you have your job. Give us a day in the life of how Sherry would schedule and request off. Now, let me give a disclaimer. If you don't have good work ethic, because my sister does, my sister is not calling out of work, so her time has accumulated. Mm-hmm. My sister's on time with her job, so her job doesn't mind her having to take 4 or 5, even 6 days to be off, because she's such a great worker. So that we gotta say, if you know that God is still helping you to be better as a worker, that is something you're gonna have to continue to keep working on, because you're not gonna get the same favor or opportunities, I should say, like her, because you haven't put in the work. But let's just say you do. How do you make it work, Sherry, with managing your time, still being able to travel? Give us like a way. Let's say, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you want to go to Mexico in 3 months, mm-hmm. right? And you want to do your solo trip, and you're gonna go to Mexico, and it's for 4 days. How would the person who has their job be able to do that? And I know every company is different, but just giving us just a roundabout way on how you can possibly do it, what would you say your advice would be?
It would be to check with your job with human resources and see how your PTO work, because a lot of my time it accumulates, and then I just kind of sort it out. Okay, so I got this many days, I'm gonna go here. It'll make sense to go here. It won't take up all my time traveling. So I just kind of go with the flow with that. Also, when I first started traveling, I had a job that they did unpaid time off. So if I didn't even have no time, that means if I didn't have no time, I still could take off. And some jobs that when you use your week vacation, you still have to. If you don't have none left, they ain't gonna let you take off. So I think that's where a lot of people get in, where they can't take off and take a vacation. But I think that if you want to take a vacation or something, or do something like that, just use your PTO put it in early, or either talk to your boss, because you never know. They might even like approve it and let you go on that trip or whatever.
That's
So
so
just
good.
check in with your HR and see how their PTO work. Because I know, especially these days, everything is so different now. Like, you don't even know. Like, even, my job, is a lot of stuff has changed. But I'm going to take my vacation.
Would you say work ethic plays a big part? Let's say we have a person who's watching this. They're not late all the time, attitudey, can't get any correction, doesn't do good with somebody being over them. Does that play a part versus the person who is just, they are an asset to the company? Granted, the company still shouldn't hold that over their head because you still did earn your PTO, but would you say that you get more bees with honey when you do exude those characteristics of being somebody that's an asset, that shows up dependable like yourself, to where your company may be a little bit more flexible and may say, hey, we normally don't, but blah, 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 you've been here, you barely took any days off, go ahead and do such and such. Would you say that plays a part?
I think that does play a big part. I know I had, when I first started traveling, when I worked for hospice, a lot of times I didn't have any PTO. But they knew I'm going to take a vacation. They knew I liked to vacation. They knew I work hard. I'm always showing up. When somebody called out, I'm right there. When they need help on the weekends, we was off on the weekends. So when they need help on the weekends, I was willing to work. And so with that, I already knew I was going to get approved. Like, I didn't even have to. I just know I'm going to get approved because I'm an asset to that company. So, yeah, I agree with you on that part.
Wow. And I wanted to ask that because I don't want you to watch this and think, oh, let me try it out Sherry way. When sister or brother, you got to be honest. Hey, you're not the most pleasant, so you're not going to probably get the same results as my girl. So we got to keep it honest. That discipline has to come intact, where you committed to the mission, and that is to help that company. And in return, God will give you favor with the company. All right? That's the jewel we just dropped. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, because you do juggle a lot. Not only is Sherry, like we said, she's employed, she has several businesses, she's a mom, a grandmother. I know my sister looked every bit of 28, but yeah, she's a grandmother, y'all. And she just does a lot. How do you avoid burnout? Because that can sound overwhelming, sister, to the average person. How do you manage all of that without feeling burnout? And as a human, do you ever have those moments where you do feel just overwhelmed? Then how do you get back to Sherry, to herself, when you do?
So, burnout is simple for me. Self-care. That's it. Self-care. I love my self-care stuff. Like, I'm always going to get massages, facials, reading a book, going for a jog. Like, that kind of stuff right there keeps me keep me disciplined. It really does. Like, it keeps me, I ain't gonna say balance, because none of us are balanced, because life is, every week is different. Like, for me, I have a busy lifestyle, like very, very, very busy, but I make time for me so I can stay in tune with myself and don't lose myself or shed myself thin, because I'm doing all these things, so I always try to take care of myself and do my self-care routines. I love my self-care.
Now, that's a perfect segue. I want to go a little bit deeper into the solo traveling, because I know most of y'all watching this episode because you want to do some things. Your trips have not gotten out the group chat. You got a group of people who always say they ready, and when it's time for the trip, sister, they reneging.
Yes.
Don't have their part to the trip. Mike can't get that PTO because they don't called out a lot already. And just life happens. But it is that person who is ready to explore, Sherry, and they're saying, I'm not going to allow fear, nervousness, or loneliness to cause me to not really see the world. So I want to go into that. I want you to let me know, what would you say to that woman or man that is watching this and they are like, I would love to do this, but I'm nervous with everything that's going on in the world? How do you feel secure going to places like Greece? Your last trip where we was able to see you go somewhere and you walking around Greece just confident by yourself, taking your own pictures. Her pictures look so good. You would have thought she had somebody with her. And she took, mind you, y'all, she wrote a book. We're going to talk about that in a second if you want some tips on how to do that. But let me know, sister, how were you able to overcome that? Because you were not traveling like that before in the past relationship. So how did you get that courage to do that?
Well, I always been fascinated with the other side of the world. When I first broke the ice, like taking trips, well, my first my first international trip was going to Germany, and it just blew my mind. I fell in love with the architects of the buildings. I fell in love with how they live different over there, and the language and all of that. So I just fell in love with all that. I got infatuated with it. So I just always wanted to go on that side of the world. Even as a young girl, like in middle school, I remember looking in the textbooks, seeing them old buildings and how the churches are trimmed in gold, the gold line and all that. So I was infatuated with that. But that's what got me into traveling over there. I love the different how the different cultures live.
And so with that, did fear start to try to rise up on that first trip?
Yes. My very, 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 very first trip. I was walking through that airport, y'all. I didn't know what I was going, because when you're flying international, everything is so different. So you got to do all these different things. But mind you, I wasn't ever really flying anyway. I wasn't that savvy around the airport. But anyway, my palms are sweaty. I had to keep asking the lady to help me with the kiosk to get my ticket out, because I wasn't doing the check-in on our phone where we can just do the scan the barcode. I was doing it the paper way, printing it out and all that. But anyway, I was so nervous. Like, I was trying to pull my luggage through the airport. Palms just sweaty. I was studying, wipe my hands out, try to pull the luggage or whatever. And then when I finally got through the security and all, and got to the back, I finally, found my gate or whatever, and I was sitting there waiting. I'm just thinking, like, wow, I'm finna fly on this flight for, I think it was 14 hours. 14 hours, like a long flight. And it was fearful for me, because I was like, I'm finna go. I ain't never flew that long in my life. But what came to me was when I feel that way, I always go back to God. Because when I went to God, I was sitting there thinking, I'm finna get on this flight. When everybody was boarding on that flight, I'm like, dang, it's finna take off in 14. I'm gonna be gone for 14 hours. I was like, God, be with me. I said, how can I be scared to fly off this thing when I got God with me? And so after that first flight, it was game over. I was like, where next? Where next? Spain, Italy, Greece, like where?
Show out then, Spain, Italy, Greece. Go ahead. Do you hear that? And you said something so important earlier. You said when you were walking through the airport, palms got sweaty. But one thing that I love that you did, you asked for help. Mm-hmm. And so I want you to take this from this. For that person who's watching this on the other side, you may be in your late 30s. You may be in your 40s. You may be even in your 50s or 60s. And you have not really ever flown a plane. Maybe never flew one before. Or if you did, it was always with people. You feel like you may get confused or lost in the airport or in this other country. But one thing that she said was she asked questions. And I feel like that is why a lot of us do not get where we need to go, because we won't open our mouth. But if you just open your mouth, God will assign you to somebody that will lead you. And so when you got that assistance, you felt better. When you was on that plane, and you ain't go to just no Mexico, y'all. She ain't do her first trip and get her little feet wet. My girl went 14 hours.
Yes.
That shows so much courage about yourself. And I just wanted to tap into that so that whoever is watching this, they know that you can go from not flying at all this year to God taking your life to the next level next year.
Like literally. Like I never thought in a million years I would have been to all the places that I have been to. I would have never thought. Never thought.
What would you say is some good safety tips? Because, okay, you got the person motivated, encouraged, they ready to lead the person they with, because they know they deserve better. So you done got them they fueled up, sister. They Googling where they trip gonna be. But now they like, okay, Sherry, what's some tips you could give me so that when I'm there, especially for our ladies, some safety tips, sister, because we are by ourselves. What would be some suggestions you would give?
Okay, some safety tips that I would suggest, like when I go, because I'm a solo traveler. I travel like 90% by myself. But I would say trust your instinct is the first one. I feel anything off. If I'm go somewhere and I feel something that's off, I trust it. I really, really trust it. Let me see. I would say the second thing. Let me see. The second thing, turn your location on. Like, let somebody know where you at. You know, kind of keeping tabs with somebody that you love, or you know, someone that's close to you, so they can know that you're okay. Like, because you just never know. I would make a copy of my passport, just in case you lose yours. Because I remember I have a story to tell. One time.
Go ahead, girl. I'm like, I ain't never heard this one. Go ahead.
One time when I went to Spain. Caught a flight from Germany, went to Spain. The rental car got broken into. Went to the beach to take some pictures, came back, and the seat was like pushed up. And I'm like, why this seat is up like this, you know? Well, it was an older man I noticed that was sitting out there when I first pulled up, and he was just sitting out there, older man. So I'm out there taking pictures, wasn't even out there long, like 30 minutes. Came back. And how I knew something was in the car was because, so I took my pictures, did my little content, got in the car, driving off. I heard something going, shh, shh. I'm like, what is that noise? Like, I'm trying to turn the radio up higher and higher. Shh. Girl, the man had broke into the car, but he had, like, stuck something in the window. You know how that little black thing around the window?
The seal.
The seal. Mm-hmm. So I guess he got in some kind of way that way, and that's why the air was coming in like that. But I'm still not knowing that happened to me. So go to the gas station. Oh, my God. Try to go in my purse. My passport and all that was gone. And all my cash was gone. But he left my credit cards. And so you got to be careful with that. So that's why I say, like, make copies of your passport, because I would have had problems trying to get back home. I was going to leave in like 4 days, you know, after I left Spain. Yeah, so I was going to leave in 4 days. So, but anyway, yes, make copies of everything. And let me see, it's one more thing. It's a lot of things, really. But I think the main two is trust your instinct. Oh, don't ever let nobody know that you're there by yourself. If you're a solo traveler, even if you're like 2 or 3 friends, because women, you know, you guys got to be careful, us women out there. We got to pay attention to everything. So that's definitely a good tip to have too. Just be safe and enjoy your time. Like, sit down and take pictures and all that, but then lay that phone down and take in a moment. Especially when you do your first travel, you ain't gonna be able to get enough of it. You're gonna keep going back for more and more and more, because it's so peaceful. It's so peaceful.
That was going to be my next question. And you literally went on it. And why would you say, and I know from my experience from doing solo trips, it allows you, would you agree, sister, where you are on your own schedule? I love group things, but with solo, if I want to lay in, I can lay in.
Yes.
If I want to be in my deep thought, I can be in my deep thought. What would you say is some of your best moments being solo that you would encourage another woman to do it because of these moments that you receive?
The peacefulness. I can go on and on about the solo stuff. Like, I just like the peacefulness. Sitting at the table, like eating by myself, people watching. Like, I like the peacefulness of it. Like, it ain't that I'm a loner. It's just that I like peaceful things. And so going on a vacation, seeing all the pretty things, I like to take it all in and enjoy the moment, you know, the blessing that God gave me to see all of this. You know, God gave us life to see things like that at a quiet time. And when you by yourself, it's quiet. It ain't no noise, you know, you can take it in, you can meet who you're supposed to meet, people come in your path, and, you know, so that's what I love doing. I'm a people person, so I like meeting new people. Yeah, I got friends all over. When I went to Greece, I got that little girl checked me in, she my friend, you know, and WhatsApp, and so I have a lot of friends that's all over because of my solo traveling. So I think it's a good thing to get into, you know, even if you start out small. You can start out, if you're scared to go overseas or something, you can like start out in a little city that's like 30 minutes, 45 minutes away. You know?
Oh, I love that. Because it is that person who may say, I would love to go to Spain, Sherry, and Greece and everything you mentioned, but I have not even been outside of my state. So what you are saying is, hey, start out small.
Yeah. You can start out small and just go like 45 minutes away. And then like I would like look up stuff that you think you might be interested in that area as well. And then you'll be amazed at how your personality would grow and how you want more to see more things and then, you know, enhance your lifestyle.
Such a great answer. That was so good. Now, with you being, we're going to go into the friendship piece. This is a good way for us to go right into that. with you being such a girl's girl, I know everybody wants to think they're a girl's girl, but it's certain attributes and qualities you have to have to be a girl's girl. You have to be somebody that thinks ahead for your girl. You somebody that will, if you see something is off, sister, you're going to be like, fix this. You are going to get my best angles, not just by content, but you want me to shine in the best light that I can shine in. You have somebody's back without the person even asking. You are a supporter. You are going by a stranger's product. If she go and post it, she's done it. With people I've shared, she don't even know the person. I went and brought your friend such and such. Don't even know the person, and she brought it. So why is sisterhood so important to you?
Sisterhood is important to me because I think we all should motivate and encourage each other. We here to we're supposed to uplift each other, you know, and that's sisterhood. And then like as far as like good sisterhood, I like friends that that's loyal. I like loyal people around me that trust me, that I know got my best interest at heart, that I know I can trust, and that I know that'll protect me. You know, them kind of people we want around us. So I feel I feel like we all should encourage and motivate each other, especially as women out here, because a lot of women, you know, us women, and you're not gonna say a lot of women, but all of us, we're mothers, we're grandparents, we hold a lot, you know, and that's been going on for as long as we can remember, you know. So we need to uplift each other. We so used to being strong, sometimes we don't get to be soft. You know, and so I feel like sometimes when another sister come around and then uplift one that needed, I feel like, you know, that sister probably needed that. So I feel like that we should do that for each other.
And since you've been a part of several different groups, because me and you met each other being a part of a group, would you say sisterhood has cultivated you and shaped you to be who you are? Because I don't see you as the same Sherry I met 7 years ago. You was much more timid, sister, thinking more in your head, just being honest. Now you more outspoken, more confident. Would you say from you being around other people as well, going to different events, because you are event girly too, love a good networking. I love a good event. How has that helped shape you and help bring up your confidence?
I think from the like I was just saying, like get the uplift from other women that see that pull the encouragement out of me, like pull it out of me. They see it in me, but I'm like, I was kind of like, you know, not motivated. I would say not motivated, but it's in there, but they see it and they was pulling it out of me. So I love to get stuff like that pulled out of me. I like to do it to other women too, uplift them. And then I like when someone do that to me. So I'll be wanting more, because I'm trying to be the biggest I can be. Because one day I'm going to be a motivational speaker. You know, I'm inspiring, I'm motivating, and I just love, I want the world to know my name, you know.
And you already that, sister. But I know what you mean on a bigger scale.
Yes, on a bigger scale, because I love doing it. Like, I can't help it. I can't get out of it, so I might as well get that bag doing it.
Yes, she can't help it, and I love it. You need a person like that. So let's go ahead and go into your businesses. Okay. Because I want to talk more on that. We know all the roles, well, most of the roles you wear. So now let's go into the business, Sherry. The first business that I was privy of was your scrub business. Yes. Now her scrubs, y'all, are like none other. I'm not even in the nursing field or medical field, and I brought them, and I'm like, girl, I could wear these all day. Then they are so fashionable. I'm going to let her go into it, but I just want to just affirm you. Like, you really took your time. I remember when you were sorting out different vendors and people to connect with to really make your scrub. You didn't rush or put it out. You really went and tested out. You gave some away because she wanted real feedback and honest, like, what do you feel? So what made you even, I know you have a background in medical, so I want you to kind of give me that, but what made you say, this is going to be my first business? And give us the name of it too. I'm sorry.
Okay, the name of my business is called Luxury Scrubs, and it's a nursing scrub company that sells scrubs, compression socks, anything that's that you wear in the medical field, or like you can wear like if you are a massage therapist or something like that. Well, anywhere where you wear scrubs, basically. But what got me into the scrubs is that y'all, every paycheck I got. Going to buy me some scrubs. I couldn't get out of my mind. Like every 2 weeks, I was gonna give me a set of scrubs, and I like to be cute at work. And it just always been in me that I love cute scrubs. I just could not wait to buy more scrubs. So my first business, I said I wanted to start a scrub company. But my actually first business before that was I was making wigs on the side. And then I did that for like a couple of months, and then I didn't really like that. So I went to the scrubs, and I said, you know what? The scrubs came back across my mind again, and so that's what grew scrubs. And then I love luxury because I like taking my luxury trips, and so that's where the luxury scrubs come from.
And y'all, they luxury. It's not, I'm not, again, I don't wear scrubs, but I was able to wear hers, and then my mom wears scrubs, and I was able to feel her scrubs. And I said, these is not, all scrubs are not made equal, because those scrubs was given a little roughy rough. So I was able to see why she knew the type of scrubs to make, because nurses are normally in them, well, always in a long amount of time, right? Give me that piece. What made you say you wanted your quality a certain way? You saw a problem, right? So tell me, what's the problem you seen? Because you was very adamant about having a specific type. You didn't want the type like everybody else.
My scrubs, I wanted scrubs that stretch and move when you move, because a lot of the scrubs are made polyester, like. And then I wanted the scrubs to be wrinkle free. Like, you don't even got to iron, you just put them on and go. But my main reason was that I wanted scrubs that was comfortable to put on and they move when you move. So that's what the whole concept was from.
Wow, and you could tell when I wore it. I'm telling you, I was like, I sent you a video. I said, girl,
I know, you sure
I don't
did.
even wear. I could wear this. It gave me cute and pulling the waist, y'all. Check my girl out. My girl has a new line coming out, so y'all be on the lookout. But I just wanted to just really tell you that I saw what your vision was. It showed. Beautiful logo, quality was just A1.
Yes.
And so God bless your scrub business. I'm serious. It's to any nurse or person, like you said, that's just in a field of needing that comfortable wear. They got it on your line, sister.
Yes.
And it's not like any other line.
Yes. And I don't even put the tags in them. I remember a provider, a couple providers, bought some scrubs from where I work at. And, one of them was like, she have neck problems. So she said she love her scrubs because, baby, she don't have to worry about that tag on her neck.
Look at that. Just seeing things that most people wouldn't even think. I wouldn't have thought to do that because that's not for me. But when something is meant for you to do.
Because that's part of the comfort.
Wow.
Not having that tag or scraping your neck, So that was the main goal, was just comfort. Just being comfortable at work, like day pajamas, work pajamas.
That's what it give me, but stylish.
Yeah, stylish. It gotta be stylish.
Yes, very good. So thank you again. I just wanted to tap into that now. Your second business, which is something that just comes natural for Sherry. And when she told me she was getting certified to be a life coach, I was like, oh girl, that is you, sister, because she is that, and she was doing it for free. Y'all, this lady let everybody vent to her at her job. She's like the top nurse there because everybody just loves to talk to Miss Sherry. Miss Sherry is going to affirm you, remind you of who you are, and she's a resource girl. So she's not just going to give you advice, but then like, okay, let's come up with a plan. Like, you should try to do this, and she makes you feel like you can conquer the world, literally, when you get done talking to her. So tell me about your life coaching business. What made you say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get certified, take these classes, and get a little bit more knowledge on it, and then I'm going to turn it into a business?
Well, just from me motivating and encouraging people all the time, that they always tell me that. They're like, are you a life coach? They'll even ask me that. They was even asking me that. So, 3 years ago, I was just like scrolling the web. This girl was scrolling. I saw something that said life coach. I'm like, what is a life coach? Like, what is it? And I like to talk about life things. So I clicked on it. It said a person who likes to inspire, motivate, encourage. And I was like, that's me, So they was offering this course, and I took the course and then got my life coach certificate. And that was like 3 years ago. So I didn't know if I was going to utilize it or not, but I just said I just got to get it, because I know one day I'm going to be doing this. Like, I know I am. Like, I know I will make a difference in a lot of people's lives because I've done it before. This is my thing. This is what I do, And so now I'm putting that into action. I got a lot of things I'm working on, so it's gonna be great. Like, God is putting everything how it's supposed to be, And so even though I got it then, God said now is the time to use it. Now's the time. So. And
do you see how both businesses correlate with each other? Because nursing, you're helping the sick.
Yes.
Life coaching, they may not be physically sick, but some of them mentally is all over the place.
Yeah.
And so God has allowed both of your gifts because you are just a natural, caring, nurturing person, and this is something we talked about in Bible study, where Erica has taught us about finding your purpose. And you will notice that your purpose a lot of times is things that you were already doing. And so I love that you also said that even though you didn't use the life coaching certification right in the moment, God still said, do it now.
Do it now.
This is the open opportunity, because later you're going to use it, and now we're in the later.
Yep, now we're in the later.
Wow. So now what would you say to that person who is building in with their 9 to 5? How do they juggle that? Because I'm sure for you, and you said something really good earlier, you said, I don't really think you 100% can balance. And that's the truth. When people ask how you balance, you really can't balance. But how do you make time for both? Because it's like you working your jobs. And again, you're not just doing that. You an active grandmother, active mom, there for your children. Your children love their mother, because you somebody that is such a sweetheart, y'all, to her kids. Great grandmother as well. Not a great grandmother. I don't mean she's a great grandmother, but she's a great, like, as a person. Great grandmother, and she's running her businesses. So, sister, how can a person try their best in the beginning to do both? Even if it's not both businesses, but just one. How can they get their mind to, even with your job, make time to still make your business a priority? How were you able to do that?
It's just one thing. You just got to be disciplined. It's just one thing. Be disciplined and make yourself, like, you got to set boundaries for yourself. Like, you cannot be all over the place. You need to put that calendar out. Because the one thing I've learned in business is like writing stuff down. And like your calendar, write it down. Because we can always keep it in our head, but we see it, it'll make us do it. For some reason, that just works. It just works when you see it written down. You know, and so that's what I would say. I would say, like, be disciplined and really show up for yourself. And like I say, write it down. Get you one of those white, what is it, the dry erase boards. Like, I still use that every day. I write down my goals every week, what time I need to do this and that. That way you'll be most likely to do it. If you write it down, it's like an appointment. Because in your head, you're going to make excuses. You're going to be like, oh, you know, because you ain't got it written down. You write it down, and then you don't want to disappoint yourself, so you're going to go do it, you know? And so that's what I do, and that's my advice, I would say, for that.
Such good advice. Y'all can't leave this episode and say you didn't learn nothing, because I'm over here taking notes mentally. So now I want to get into the game, sister. You see on my podcast now, I've added a game with my guests, and so this game,
oh Lord,
this is the game I want Sherry to think off the top of her head. So we're gonna do rapid fire with you, Sherry. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you a question, and you just gonna give your honest first answer. And if you want to elaborate more, you can, or you could just give the answer. Okay.
Can I pass on some?
There's nothing to pass.
Okay.
I don't feel like you would. Nothing too deep. And no, to answer a question she can't pass. Okay.
All right.
So the first one, favorite place you've ever visited?
Italy.
Dream destination?
Let me see. Dream destination. I would say Japan.
Beach or mountains?
I would say mountains. I love nature.
I wasn't expecting that, but that's good.
I like to see how far I can go.
You.
Yeah.
Say that again.
I like to see how far I can go. I like to challenge myself. And then when you get to the top, it's so beautiful when you look down.
Wow, that was good. Morning or night?
I would say night, because I'm not a morning person. I get up because I have to.
You give me night. She is, y'all. And be energized at night. Sister,
yes.
It's 10:30. I'm like, girl, I'm going to bed.
I know, right?
Love y'all. I'm more of a morning person. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Me too. Passport stamp you are most proud of?
Italy.
Ooh, you love you some Italy now. Window or aisle seat?
Window.
Like the window.
I'll pay an extra $100 for the window.
What about the window you like?
What about I like to look out the window, and I like to dream. I like to just take myself away. I take myself away in the class. Like, I just like to zone out and just look out the window. You know, and I noticed something on my flight when I came down here to this podcast. When I look out the window, before, like, I never seen, like, I still could see, like, some of the city. And I guess because of how the clouds were today, and it not even when I got into town, it was just like, and just in general, I was like, wow, like, look at that. It's so, like, you know, it was just so beautiful and different, and just, I just feel blessed that I was able to, like, notice all of that, like, all the the trees and all that kind of stuff. But I was still way up there, but I could like see it down. So the clouds was kind of clear today. So
you had a big moment of gratitude.
Yeah, I had gratitude. That's the word I was looking for. Just the gratitude and I just like to look out the window and just take me away from life, from the everyday thing. Everyday rat race, what they call it.
You saying that. One thing you would never travel without.
Let me see. I gotta think, because there's a lot of stuff I need.
That top thing.
The top thing. Let me see. My tripod.
Come on, sister. You know she
gotta have my content.
Yes, that's good, sister.
I gotta have that content.
She gonna have her You had the tripod to the point you told me people thought you was lying that you was by yourself.
They thought somebody was flying me out like that. I swear to God on everything. I swear to God. I actually took a picture of the tripod when I was in Greece because people was like thinking I had flew out there, somebody flew me out. And who was taking these pictures of you? And I had to like take a picture of the tripod.
Because that's how good and consistent she was. They thought she had a secret boo and just.
But I was recording myself going downstairs and everything.
Yes, she was really. Yes, she was, y'all.
Everybody be like, "Who's taking these pictures of you?"
Last one discipline you would never stop doing.
One discipline I will never stop doing. Getting up in the morning and thanking God for my day before it gets started, and speak some affirmations over myself and give God thanks for waking me up. So I never stop doing it. I say that before I do anything.
Wow. So Sherry, as we close this out, I want to know, because you've done so much over the last 7 years. I feel like I told you a couple of months ago that this year made 7 years that we've known each other, because we went to the Boss Conference in 2019. We are now in 2026.
Wow.
I've seen you grow a lot. I could feel your confidence.
Really?
I know. I could think back in that living room in Miami. Sierra was pregnant then, and you was always a sweetheart, but it wasn't very reserved. Sherry, but she talks now. She's not shy, but is just confident how you are now.
Yeah.
So I see you, sister. I really do. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Like, if it could go your way in God's will, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, I see myself as a multi-millionaire. I see myself as a motivational speaker. I see myself as the type of woman that women look up to. That's what I see myself in the next 5 years. I feel like I can just be the greatest as I ever could be in the next 5 years, and so I'm claiming it too.
I'm claiming it, and I feel wife too. I don't know why I don't mean to go deep, but I see you as a wife. I told you that a couple of months ago.
Oh yes, and
I just see it, sister. You have just such great qualities to be somebody's helpmate. Any guy that really gives you a chance and take you serious, and really is able to just allow you to help him and vice versa. Girl, he got a good charm.
'Cause I'm wife material.
Yes, you are, my girl.
I am wife material.
Yes, you are. And I love how you enjoy your singleness. I've been able to admire you from afar. You're not a woman that always got a man.
And when I was single by choice. A lot of people used to be like, why you ain't got no man? Maybe something wrong with you. Why you ain't got no man? But they don't understand, like, when you done been through what I done been through, or you been through a relationship that was like that, like, you be so preserved over your peace that nothing can mess with it. Like, you ain't gonna let nothing mess with that.
And
you don't want to go back to that place, so you be protective of it. So it was just my peacefulness. It was by choice, and it was because I'm real considerate. I was busy working and stuff like that, and no man ain't finna just, she busy all the time. They're gonna eventually go deal with somebody. You know how it go. They're gonna get bored. So I didn't have time for nobody. So that was another reason too. I'm real considerate and not waste nobody's time. I used to say that all the time. Like, I don't want to waste your time. And a lot of them appreciate that honesty. They used to tell me that. So,
well, thank you for saying that. And I just want you to know, you make my singlehood just something that I could look forward to, that I can enjoy my own company, sister, enjoy my life. And not that I don't desire that, but to know that in the season that I'm in, because I would never get this season again, to steward it well. Because I see you steward yours well.
Especially when you do it by choice, that means that you chose yourself. You chose yourself. You can go. You know you can get anybody. You're beautiful, so you can go get anybody. You know you can do that. You know, but you chose yourself because you live in life now. Like, you know, you live in life and doing it day by day. And when that time comes, it's gonna come when it's supposed to. So just don't feel rushed in it. Keep doing what you're doing and just keep going.
Y'all heard her say it. Don't rush it.
Because baby, when that love comes, it's gonna snatch you up. You be like, wait, I was just living life.
You absolutely right, Sherry. But I want to just thank you for your time, sister. I pray and I know that whoever watches this episode, they feel inspired. They feel like they can conquer the world and know that they are never alone. I want y'all to also make sure you click the link in the description for her book. We tapped into some of these things about the safety tips, how to travel by yourself, some of the places that you can go to. She also in her book talks about smaller trips. How she said you don't always have to go 14 hours, 5 hours. You can do a shorter trip and still enjoy yourself. She has her Sherry checklist in her book as well. Just her top things that she always takes with her. So please make sure you click the link. Support my girl, and not just support her, but get some inspiration for yourself so that you can really enjoy your life with or without a person.
Yes, buy the book.
Buy the book, y'all, and make sure you like this video. Share it with somebody who you know needs a fresh start. And again, I love you, Sherry, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. And remember, y'all, discipline is what, sister?
Sexy.
It's sexy. We are out.